Hopefully you're finding us. I know you're going to find us on the replay because you always do. And this is Rev Mac Live. My name is Revolution McKinnis, and we've got a special night. This should have started a half an hour ago, but technical difficulties. The internet, it's new. We'll get it figured out. And I am really very lucky to have a couple of guests that are incredibly important. Not that all of my guests aren't important to me, especially the ones that can hear me right now. I love all of you. And in fact, all of you, I really appreciate the videos that you've been sending me that I have been requesting. Georgia, I love you for your video. It's awesome. I can't wait to use it for the little promo stuff we're doing so you can support the show. Let's pay a couple of quick bills here and then we can get this thing going. Scooch case. If you know the show, you know me. Get a Scooch case, COOCH.com. I don't have time to throw the Club Deck logo up there, but clubdeck.app is also a sponsor. Sponsor me at my profile page. $5, $10, $1,500 a month, whatever you want to do. If you want to send that much, though, I'll give you my bank account number. In fact, just DM me. I'll give it to you right now. And without further ado, although Dr. McBride, your camera is not on, but let's say hello to, there she is, Upāsikā Tree Turtle and Dr. Dominica McBride. Let's get that set over there. Okay, thank you. There you go. Dee, there you are, right? You're all there. How are you doing?
I'm excitedly exhausted. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I know. It's you really got to see what this can be like when things don't go well, which, like I said, I'm sure there's a good reason for it. And I'm going to trust the universe, though I just told the planet off, but the planet fixed it real quick. So I guess I should listen more often. And yeah, so let's take a breath collectively. There we go. Take myself down a notch now that I'm not in emergency disaster mode, like some 70s movie, and say what we're here for. Well, first, let me say this. I have been involved with Become, Dr. McBride's nonprofit, since before it was Become, and I am like super excited after the culmination. I don't know. We've practically known each other for a decade. We might as well say it's a decade, close enough. And we were just total. We hated each other when we met. No, I'm just kidding. But we've had an amazing journey together over 10 years. It's been absolutely fantastic. And I am insanely honored to be sitting here with Dominica on my program 6 months into this craziness of doing this live. And so thank you, Dominica. And Upāsikā Tree Turtle, we've only known each other a little while, but I have to say, and I mean, I've hung with a couple of gurus for, 5-10 minutes each, waiting in a line somewhere. And you are, hey, Mark, thanks for joining us. You are just one of the, like, you should have been on this side and doing all this because you're like one of the most cool and collected people I know. So every time I think calm, I just think Tree Turtle. So that's the vibe you give off, Tree. How are you doing this evening?
Yes, thank you so much for the blessing of being here with both of you this evening and with your audience. I am Upāsikā Miss Tree Turtle, and it has been a pleasure and an honor to partner with you, Dr. Dominica McBride, and you, Revolution, in all of our efforts to uplift people who truly need our unique movement organizing and community building work. So this evening and every day, what we do is for the liberation and love of people who are the most oppressed in this world. And there is a high purpose and high seriousness to organizing and building empowerment within these communities. So I am I'm just so delighted to be with everyone this evening and to bear witness to this work.
What is fantastic having you here. If you could, are you on your laptop? If
Yes, I
you could
am.
just tilt your laptop towards you a little bit so I can see a little bit more of you. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. So, hey, Kizzy, how you doing? And we've got a couple other people that are listening that have texted me that are regulars here, and you never know how many people are actually watching back there unless they say hi. So we'll assume millions because let's go for it. And so tell me first. The first thing I want is because there's going to be a lot of people that see this and they're not even going to know. I think the first thing we should start with is just Dominica. You want to tell us a little bit about just what Juneteenth is?
Yeah, Juneteenth is a profound paradox in this country. And so, as many of us know, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed ending enslavement. And even though it was signed for 2 years in Texas, the people who were enslaved there did not know about the Emancipation Proclamation. They were still enslaved, and it wasn't until soldiers got there and was able to announce that, hey, actually slavery is illegal, it ended. And so that was June 19th of 1865. And so that is now a celebration of freedom, knowing that it is abolished, and that we are we are free, right? In many ways. And then now it becoming nationally recognized, we have this opportunity to have this conversation about what is our liberation today, both the progression and then the lack of progression from that time in this country.
Well, I think that's beautifully said. The idea. I think we should maybe take a moment to, in all seriousness, think about, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and the hundreds and the tens of hundreds and the thousands, and probably the millions of people that Western civilization has done a hell of a disservice to because Juneteenth is on our minds because we've pushed forward a little. We had an insane tragedy with George Floyd from so many of our perspectives. And then from some people's perspectives, it's just another day. But the fact of the matter is those horrible sacrifices that come about have pushed us a little forward. And, it's freaking nuts that George Floyd is going to be known, to just for that horrible tragedy. To see some of these things come out of it, I think that are a huge blessing. Tony D, buddy, great to see you, man. Thank you for the great topic award. Seriously, good to see you, Tony. Anybody that's watching, tell your friends about this. Juneteenth it's a big deal. And I just took a clip from the internet. And if I can show it real quick, I will. But Tree, I know you probably have some thoughts too, if you want to share them while I find this clip here.
Yes. It's very important to recognize that we live within the legacy of the enslavement of people of African descent. We may think that there are things about our lives as Black people that convey our liberation, but we are not truly free. We still have legislative processes, we still have everyday realities that make our lives unsafe as Black people and brown people. We have systems of policing that terrorize us. We have a capitalist structure that makes it very hard to thrive day in, day out because of the demand to fund our lives against the grain of the fact that almost everything has been rigged for the most wealthy and those with the most cultural privilege, including those who are white and who are privileged. These realities, they run the course at the same time that we eat our breakfast and watch TV and do the most sundry of things. And I agree with Dr. Dominica McBride that this is the paradox that we live in. We have a life where we have our everyday experiences at the same time when Black people like me are still deeply oppressed. In the nonprofit organization that I am the co CEO called Wisdom Projects, we move and help and uplift and empower the same kind of Black folks that I was. I was raised in orphanages and foster homes. I struggled to survive. I met the kind of intractable odds that have nothing to do with who I am and everything to do with the way society is rigged against people like me. I got my GED and then went to nursing school and paid for it on my own. And then, after many years, went to college. I did not have the kind of life or luxuries that others have. And so I've dedicated myself, especially as an ordained Buddhist Upāsikā, to helping, serving, movement organizing, and community building with those very same kinds of people. In fact, the reality is this: the hardships that Black people face in the United States are in many ways reflected by the hardships of most ordinary Americans who have to beg for a minimum wage, who have to beg not to have money be a factor in our health care.
Yep.
Imagine if we were being robbed and the police went to us and said, "Give me money before I help you." We're getting robbed. That's what it's often like in our healthcare. So being able to serve and uplift people who go through these struggles is an enormous blessing that fights through the liberation that we need. In fact, we need the liberation that is symbolized by Juneteenth.
Well, I think that one of the great things about this platform where we get to be tonight, and I think Peter Bittner, dude, thank you for coming by. I don't want to get emotional here.
Blessings to you, friend. Thank the Spirit for your empathy, Revolution, because so many people don't have that depth of empathy that you are demonstrating now.
I just really wanted to say that I just do a little. And this has shaped my life so much, this work, D. I had a conversation with my 18-year-old daughter who's going to school in New York. Like, she's dreamed about going to school in New York, and that dream has come through because she worked her butt off, and she was able to do it, and we're really lucky. And I'm a cis white male in a world where people like me have dominated for thousands of years, and we're trying to make a little difference. I've just done a little. And that's really all people need to do is just, even if you can just do a little, just do a little. It'll make a difference. It'll make a huge difference because these issues, it's just, they don't need to be here. And I just appreciate everybody that's here and that we're doing this. And I'm sorry I'm taking this time up here because I can't hold it together because this is just how important this work is. Dominican treat do this stuff every day. They live this stuff every day. And I have a son I was talking to my daughter last night, and I said, I'm not going to be here forever. So your brother's half white and half black, and society is going to look at him as all black, and they're going to crap on him at times, and you're going to need to be here because I won't always be. And anyway, you guys say something. Let me catch my breath.
That's beautiful, Rev. And like, I mean, I know Aiden, and like, I have a daughter and a son that you could probably hear and see in back of me who won't go to sleep, but they're like, they are. I need to stay right there.
They're fine. Don't worry about it.
They are the main drivers of this work. I mean, like, I've been doing this work before kids, but when I had
you've been doing this work since you were 15. I know you.
But when I had children, it just took on a whole new level of importance and how personal this is. And I mean, it's already personal, of course, but when you have children and like the kind of you think about the kind of world that they're growing up in, that things have not actually changed that much since 1863 when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, 1865 since it was reiterated in Texas. Like, things have not changed that much, right? We think that they have because it looks different, right? Like, this country looks different than it did back then, but now the same enslavement, the same mentality has not gone anywhere. It is still here. We still have people in our government, we have people in community, we have people with lots of money who still think that same way and would actually want that same thing to happen again, right? Like, we can't like put a veil over our eyes thinking that like we are totally different than we were back then. We're not. And so like to like step into this discussion around Juneteenth and what it really means is so important, like for ourselves and our children and our communities, whether like no matter what the color of your skin is, right? Like the issues around this hierarchy of human value, they affect everybody. They affect everybody in different ways, but it's still pain. Even if you think you're not touched by it, like there's still pain that's underneath the surface that's like influencing all of us. And so when you were saying like the little bit, just do a little bit, like even like internal work inside, that little bit, right? Like internal healing work that we can do inside of us, like that even is like a substantial
place to start step. Yeah, I know her kids are absolutely beautiful, Tony D, by the way. Go ahead, Tree.
Sure. I would like to share that this Friday, the day before Juneteenth, Dr. Dominica's organization, Become, and my organization, Wisdom Projects, are honoring Juneteenth, and we are opening ourselves to the public to say that your support truly means something for our efforts. If you click onto the link that I just put into the chat, it will take you to our all day event. We are open and humble in saying we need the support to continue the kind of organizing and community building work that we do every day with people who need it the most. Come for one or come for all of the events on Friday. They're all virtual. Once you register at that link, a Zoom link will be sent to you. We'll have a panel by Dr. Dominica McBride on love and liberation, a panel on how we should see, feel, and think after the pandemic, a magic show, and of course, the final two events after our sharing of the mothers and parents in many of our programs of poets and a terrific, outstanding rapper named Malik. Malik will be the last and final headlining event. And we invite all of you there to show the little bit that you can do to help two organizations that are truly going the distance. And I'll also say this: how are we organizing and movement building? Every day we speak directly to the people in communities that are in need of empowerment. Our goal is to view them as the best assets within their own uplift, to work with them evaluatively with restorative and healing and conflict centered tools to uplift them. As a former nurse and science teacher, and I also give them the kind of tools that will uplift their health, body, mind, and spirit. So it is our hope, and you have all of our hopes, that you will join us on Friday, just as you are here, and support all of our, I must say, quite cool activities each hour. Malik Youssef Jones is absolutely terrific and phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He has worked with everyone from Kanye West and beyond.
Common, so many people.
That's right. So join us on Friday and lend your hearts and your mind and your hands within your limits. No need to go beyond your limits, but within your limits to what you can do. One of them could be joining us Friday, and then if you can't do that, then do what you can to address the panoply of challenges. If your mind thinks about the suffering in our country, you'll be drenched with the weight of it. It is very emotionally draining, but it is that empathy that is such a remarkable light. If we have that empathy, our very selves are just that more renewed. Thank you so much for listening to my appeal. Oh,
Poetry.
Kizzy, thank you for being there, darling. Thank you so much.
I just put Become's website up there, and Tree, I will put the wisdom. Actually, Tree, if you see in the bottom there, because you should just direct this thing because you've already got it all figured out. If you click on the little link there, send me your link, because if I post it, it'll be clickable. to the Wisdom Project, because
Okay.
we'd like people to be able to find you. And
So
yeah,
should
just
I
type
do
it in there, but click on the little lock and it'll turn the image pink. See, you get to see the back behind the scenes stuff, folks. There it is. Look at that perfect tree. Thank you. So yeah, I think, that we've got a few minutes left. Dee, let's hear some of your thoughts. We don't need to hear me. I'm here for you. So, there he is. And I'm unmuting you. You're unmuted now, so you can talk.
Okay, yes. So, yeah, just to talk about what Tree was saying around the healing that needs to take place on a cellular level, the pain that exists on these to the depth that it does. That healing is such a key piece of this process towards true liberation, and that Tree is also going to be leading some healing and mindfulness during the event as well. And we're going to have a panel on healing by the other co-CEO of Wisdom Projects, Ted Richards. And so I think it's going to be a phenomenal event. And so glad that we're already seeing you, Kizzy. We look forward to seeing you there. Others, please join us. And hopefully, like through this event and through this conversation, we can even work together in our own separate places of the world towards the same goal around equity and liberation.
And I have learned more from, I don't know, Dominica's like she's like a PhD on it herself. I've learned more from Dominica in the last 10 years. Don't cry, revolution. Stop. Breathe through it. But seriously, there's a lot of people that are hopefully going to watch this, that look like me, and you really don't even understand half of what we're talking about. And you're like, how can, slavery was 150 or more years ago. I mean, how can that affect us? I tell you what, Google that, just that, and read stories about how it still affects people. I don't know if you remember that early event we did in at the bank, remember? When we were doing those, the wine, dine, and learn, and the young woman, and I'll say it quickly, but she took us from her slave great grandma to her, and she walked us through. Well, grandma was 100% slave, and her great grandma was 100% slave, and great grandma was half, and great grandma was a quarter, and my mom's an eighth, and I'm, that next derivative. It's there, it comes, it follows us through. We can't get away from it. And you really have to understand that distance that you feel that you never had to worry about, that distance is there every day in the Black community and in America. So you just Google a few of those things, because I know if you've got an open heart and an open mind, it's just not that hard to see. And the best thing somebody like me could do is just listen. Don't ask Black folks to tell you, well, what am I supposed to do? Figure it out yourself and listen.
Listen, and also be a generous and gracious and loving ally, and rise up as an upstander instead of just a bystander.
I love that.
And help out even with the little bit that you might be able to give and support. I want to thank Dr. Dominica McBride, and to thank you, Revolution McInnes, and all of the almost 100 people who are with us right now in this broadcast. I think it's about 100. And
yeah, we're close, and we'll get even more people, and this will live here forever. So
I want to thank all of you, because one of the greatest things that you can give is your time and your attention. Thank you so much for the blessing of your time. You are upstanding. You are upstanding. And Dr. McBride is completely and 100% correct that this is about the equity that we need and the liberation that we need. So thank you so much for your time and attention this evening.
Well, Tree, I appreciate you tremendously. I know even in a little more depth your story that you've shared with me, and I do want to say, because you're in Baltimore, right?
Yes.
All of your, I don't know, your family, your kids, everybody at the Wisdom Project, everybody that you touch, even this little platform right here. Peter was in here. I tagged the CEO, and I talked to Mark earlier today, and I knew he was busy and he probably wouldn't get a chance to maybe get in here. But this platform itself has a lot of power, and we need more faces like your two faces on here, like anything done in America. So if you have anybody that would like to do this at the Wisdom Project, or some young journalists that would just, hey, I need a platform. It's free. I will get them all the help they need to get them started. We will do whatever we need to do. Show them the video, and there might be a kid say, oh, I want to be a host. Then let's do it. You know what I mean? Maybe with the caveat, they need to be, old enough, other than that. But we can always work that out. If they're young, we'll figure it out too. But, yeah, whatever you need. And I know that this platform and the people on this platform, from the people that watch to the people that are creating this platform, will support you all 100% too. So, yeah, I just appreciate both of you for being here. And, hey, half hour, it was a good half hour. This was great. I think people will get, a lot out of it by having you here. So it worked out well.
Yes, it did. And warm blessings to everyone. And we hope to see you Friday, but also to join with you in this work and always in the future.
I agree, Joy Christine. And Joy and Kim Adragana, hey, thank you. And you know what I'm thanking you for, and I love you for it, Kim. Thank you. And Joy and Tony D and Peter and Mark and all the other people out there that I know me, that certainly don't have to say anything, and I appreciate you watching. If you're watching this on the replay, Become Center. You can find this all in the comments here, www.becomecenter.com, wisdomproject.org. Come to the Juneteenth celebration, especially if you're, not at all familiar with Juneteenth, and you're going to have a really good time. And there's all kinds of Juneteenth celebrations. If you can't make ours, do something on Saturday. Show up at a Juneteenth celebration and just watch and listen, whatever. Just spread the word, because I am thrilled that Juneteenth is making its name out there. For better or worse, how we got there, we're there, and we're going to keep going. And both of you are just a gift to the planet, and I appreciate you both.
Appreciate you, Rev, so much, and thank you so much, Tree, for this time together too, and all that you do and all that you've done.
Yeah, if I could do everything Tree does in 10 minutes, that'd be a full day for me. I love you, Tree. I appreciate you so much.
And I love you both too. Blessings, everyone.
Thank you, Tree. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you got a question about Juneteenth, hit me up on IG. I'll put my IG address in after the show. Just DM me. We'll get you where you need to get, and it'll be a lot of fun. Donate to become to the project, to the Wisdom Project. It just, a little bit from a lot of people can make a big difference. So I appreciate everybody. Give those kids a hug. I get to see them tomorrow. No, Friday. And we'll see y'all soon. We'll see you on Friday at the event. And thank you, everybody. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Peace be with you, and namaste.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is how all this works, everybody. We hopefully you're finding us. I know you're going to find us on the replay, because you always do. And this is RevMac Live. My name is Revolution McKinnis, and we've got a special night. This should have started a half an hour ago, but technical difficulties. The internet, it's new. We'll get it figured out. And I am really very lucky to have a couple of guests that are incredibly important. Not that all of my guests aren't important to me, especially the ones that can hear me right now. I love all of you. And in fact, all of you, I really appreciate the videos that you've been sending me that I have been requesting. Georgia, I love you for your video. It's awesome. I can't wait to use it for the little promo stuff we're doing so you can support the show. Let's pay a couple of quick bills here and then we can get this thing going. Scooch Case, if you know the show, you know me. Get a Scooch Case, COOCH.com. I don't have time to throw the Club Deck logo up there, but clubdeck.app is also a sponsor. Sponsor me at my profile page. $5, $10, $1,500 a month, whatever you want to do. If you want to send that much, though, I'll give you my bank account number. In fact, just DM me. I'll give it to you right now. And without further ado, although Dr. McBride, your camera is not on, but let's say hello to, there she is, Upāsikā Tree Turtle and Dr. Dominica McBride. Let's get that set over there. Okay, thank you. There you go. D, there you are, right? You're all there. How are you doing?
I'm excitedly exhausted. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I know. It's you really got to see what this can be like when things don't go well, which, like I said, I'm sure there's a good reason for it. And I'm going to trust the universe, though I just told the planet off, but the planet fixed it real quick. So I guess I should listen more often. And yeah, so let's take a breath collectively. There we go. Take myself down a notch now that I'm not in emergency disaster mode, like some 70s movie, and say what we're here for. Well, first, let me say this. I have been involved with Become, Dr. McBride's nonprofit, since before it was Become, and I am like super excited after the culmination. I don't know. We've practically known each other for a decade. We might as well say it's a decade, close enough. And we were just we hated each other when we met. No, I'm just kidding. But we've had an amazing journey together over 10 years. It's been absolutely fantastic. And I am insanely honored to be sitting here with Dominica on my program 6 months into this craziness of doing this live. And so thank you, Dominica. And Upāsikā Tree Turtle, we've only known each other a little while, but I have to say, and I mean, I've hung with a couple of gurus for, 5-10 minutes each, waiting in a line somewhere. And you are, hey, Mark, thanks for joining us. You are just one of like you should have been on this side and doing all this because you're like one of the most cool and collected people I know. So every time I think calm, I just think Tree Turtle. So that's the vibe you give off, Tree. How are you doing this evening?
Yes, thank you so much for the blessing of being here with both of you this evening and with your audience. I am Upāsikā Miss Tree Turtle, and it has been a pleasure and an honor to partner with you, Dr. Dominica McBride, and you, Revolution, in all of our efforts to uplift people who truly need our unique movement organizing and community building work. So this evening and every day, what we do is for the liberation and love of people who are the most oppressed in this world. And there is a high purpose and high seriousness to organizing and building empowerment within these communities. So I am